Revolution. You know, the impulse was to really come up with just really an adventure show at the end of the day. Just a really rollicking, emotional, character-based saga, you know, kind of an epic quest about heroes and good and evil and loyalty and family, and it was just really kind of stripping down to sort of really the purity of really a Joseph Campbell type story, you know, like Star Wars. We call the amount of times I reference Star Wars or Lord of the Rings in an average day is pretty extreme. But you know, that story also goes back to Wizard of Oz, the Odyssey. I mean, it's that epic journey, and so it's that type of show with this very, very, you know, I think compelling and timely what if of what would happen if you did something as easy as just flip the lights out. And I think that's just something everyone can really relate to, because everyone knows the frustration of being in a 5-minute blackout, or if their computer freezes up, and if that happened forever, what that would mean. And we did the research of what it actually would mean. We looked at congressional reports and government think tanks and all sorts of research, and it turns out we're glamorizing it.
Oh, wow.
And what would actually happen is so much hairier than what we're even depicting. That took my breath away. Another interesting factoid. The reason behind the blackout is not a solar flare or a magnetic storm, but scientists say that we're entering into an intense level of solar activity over the next 10 to 12 years, and there is, get this, a 10% chance of this happening.
Really?
Oh my gosh.
So just a real basis for this?
Yeah, it turns out. I mean, the deeper I dug into it, it turns out that there is. But yeah, like, think about that, like 10% chance of something frying the grid that badly. So yeah, no, it's a really interesting what if, but it's just to show we in so many ways we want to be the anti-apocalypse show, and because it's about hope and it's about rebirth. I mean, there's a very specific reason I said it 15 years later, because I don't want it to be about death and destruction. I want it to be about heroes sort of restoring the land. You know, we certainly have flashbacks in every episode, which are these sort of amazing kind of, I call them like epi shots of adrenaline, because it's harrowing, because there really wouldn't be food and water, and society would fall. They're predicting within 5 days, and there is all that, but that stuff is. I didn't really want to make The Road, or I didn't want to make a show that was about death. I wanted to make a show that was about life. And that make this a world that actually people would want to live in, and that it's an interesting debate that a lot of things are worse, but a lot of things are better. And so that was why I said it 15 years later, so we could put sort of the purge, you know, in the backstory of the show, and it could influence your characters rather than having to live with it minute by minute, because that's look, it's exciting, but The Purge is not appointment television. It's a pretty depressing thing, and so for me, it's a show that is supposed to be fun and have really a lot of light and adventure to it.